Hello and welcome to another session of Riding the Bear. This session is brought to you by the Skylabs and Vetter ecosystem. My name is Ryan and I'm so glad to be your host today. As you're hopping on live, go ahead and say hi, hello, and let everybody know who is watching with us live. Now, in the last year, over 16,000 crypto projects have launched. I have a question for you. How is it possible for you to not only find and research, but also manage all of these projects? That's exactly what we do here in the Vetter ecosystem. We utilize crowdsourcing to save time, energy, and money in the crypto space. We work together to find projects that have potential, while at the same time, we bring up warnings and red flags about other projects that may bring up some concerns. Now, for the last 6 months, we've recorded over around 100 live sessions just like this, where we support the community in navigating the CrowdX Calendar, supporting people in finding their next 2x to 100x gem, and also even avoiding some questionable projects. Now, I gotta say, are we right 100% of the time? Absolutely not. We are not right 100% of the time. We're also not wrong 100% of the time. Sometimes we find projects that take off. Sometimes we find projects that have a lot of potential and they tank. And sometimes we find projects that are absolutely have major red flags, and we're able to point things out. Now, one of the things I can't guarantee that, like I said, that we're going to find great projects, but what I will guarantee is you're going to walk away having learned something. Having learned maybe a potential question to ask or something to look out for, something to look for the next time you're looking to get into a project, what to watch out for next time, whether that's during the pre-sale phase or a private sale phase, or even at launch, even a fair launch, however it goes. The whole purpose of these sessions is to work together, to share ideas, and you walk away having learned something. So, hey, welcome Meloride, welcome Carl, welcome Jackie, welcome Adelbert, welcome Sandra. Glad you guys are here. So, hey, I want to jump into a chart just real quick, and let me pull this up real quick. And what I want to talk about is we're just going to use this as an example, and it's also a great segue into the next project that we're going to talk about today. So, right here on the screen, what you see is this is Crypto Legions V3. We talked about this. Hey, Katie, welcome. We talked about this project last week, and I know a handful of members were able to plug in and catch a ride on this project. And one of the things that I was mentioning on Tuesday earlier this week was, people who say that, if they're looking to buy a dip, what is a dip? How do you know what a dip is? And, if a dip never comes, what's your plan at that point? These are the types of things that it's always a good idea to have some type of plan in mind. And, on Tuesday, the lowest this project had gone from the high was only 24%. So finally, we're seeing some significant dips here. And right now it's down, 48%. Okay, so for example, if you are the type of investor who's looking for a 50% pullback or a dip that's 50%, you wouldn't even be worried about this project. Okay, you wouldn't even be worried about this project because it hadn't dipped. It hadn't met your criteria yet. Okay, and so the only time you would be interested is every time it gets a new high, you would basically just create an alert that's 50% below that price. And that way you're not caught up on the charts, you're not worried about what's going on. Okay? And so that was the idea and the example that I gave earlier in the week, and I wanted to touch base with it again because, like I said, this was just going up and up all week. And I think sitting pretty good. I think it ended up doing like a close to a 9x at the top, the very top. So we got a 9.1. For the Val, we had a 8.3x, which means you had an hour, within the first 24 hours, over an hour to swap out between a 8.3x and a 9x, which is awesome. Now, one of the things that I will say, and the whole purpose of what we do on these sessions, and I drew this out the other day. I thought it was good. I'm going to do it again. So the whole purpose of what we do here is there's a handful of criteria that we're looking for. And when we find that criteria that we like, it's basically saying, hey, this is a plus. Okay? It's a plus. And if we see something that we may not like, it's a negative. Okay? That's all we're doing in these conversations. Okay? We're literally stacking probabilities in our favor. Okay? We're stacking probabilities in our favor. And based on certain checklists that you may have personally, things that you like, things that you look for, things that you found in your own volume of launches, VOL, volume of launches, things that you've learned from KSP, Knowledge of System Performance, you realize that whenever your 5 boxes are checked, like that projects tend to do good for you. Okay, you also may realize if there's a certain amount of red flags over here, projects may not do good for you. Okay, that's all we're doing. So every week you hear me talking about the website, the team, the Telegram health, the community hype and excitement, the audit, whether the team's docs, KYC'd, is there a path to revenue? These are the things that we talk about. And when they check the box, we basically give it a green smiley face saying, hey, you know what? This checks our box. Awesome. Okay. If it doesn't, we give it a red. Hey, this doesn't check my box. And through a volume of launches, VOL, you will realize patterns. Okay. You'll realize some patterns and some things that work out for you. Now, one of the things that Metalaride is fantastic at is he is really good at paper trading. Same thing as volume of launches. And he looks a lot at these games. Crypto type games. And that's one of the things that he's actually become really, really good at. So, as we continue to grow as a community and we start having, things like Vettervine and not so much technical analysis, but the idea of being able to, get insights from someone who knows what's going on, Metalaride is a great source for that. Okay. Now, one of the things he just said in chat, he said, Metalaride said, watch for that dip coming here in the next day or so. I'm waiting for the dip to touch close to the launch price before I enter. Not financial advice. Now, why do you think he's saying that? Do you think he's just literally pulling something out of the sky? Just this random idea of, you know what, I'm going to wait for it to do X, Y, Z, and when it does, this is what... Do you think it's random? Or do you think that through paper trading, through a volume of launches, he has developed KSP and he knows that there's a typical cycle that these projects go through and then they grow through it? Okay? I would be willing to say it is the second, only because I've had a handful of conversations on that topic. Okay? So, hey, welcome Katie, welcome Mike, hey Sleepy, welcome Sheepcook. Glad you guys are all here. So, with that, again, Metalaride's not giving financial advice, but this is something to look for. Okay, this is something to look for. If you're paper trading, where did you decide to quote unquote get in at? Did you get in at right at launch? Did you wait for a dip? If you are actual trading, what is your plan? How's it going? Keep track of that stuff. That's how you can keep track of that information in the journal and start connecting the dots and start putting pieces together so you can understand how these different things impact other things. So the reason I want to talk about Crypto Legions is because the first project we're going to be talking about today is actually this company. It's going to be their second project, second game rather. Let me say that correctly. So we're going to bring that up, and this project is called Big Crypto Game. And so we're just going to pull it up on the calendar over here. All right, and we're going to do what we do. Okay, we're going to go through the list and see what we can see and share ideas and thoughts on what we like, what we dislike, and then just watch it, see what happens. And I will say that, anything we talk about on these sessions is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And we're literally sharing ideas and concepts and stacking probabilities. And like I said earlier, we stack probabilities and sometimes it pays out like a 9x. Other times we stack probabilities and sometimes it pays out with a 20% gain. Sometimes we stack probabilities and we end up with a break even. Sometimes we stack probabilities and we don't get in a project because it looks shady and it saves us money. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Don't always feel like you must get into a launch. Don't always feel like you must get into a launch. If you start the day with $1,000 or one BNB, whatever it is, and you end the day with that same amount, you're doing better than like 95% of the other people in crypto. Why? Because people lose money in this space. Okay, so don't always feel like you got to jump in. Definitely, if you got to do something, paper trade. Like, that's it. Like, if you got to do something, if you got to take action, paper trade. Do it, do it, do it. Okay, you're not going to lose anything from that process. So, let's go ahead and take a look at Big Crypto Game. This is brought to us by Metallaride, and he was the scout that I was just mentioning. He's a scout who found Crypto Legions, the first version of that, or at least V2. He again scouted V3, brought it to our attention, and he does a phenomenal job in the community, especially with these gaming type projects. So the first thing we want to look at is the website. Let's go ahead and close this stuff out, and let's open up the website. Hey, Gabriel. All right, so we have Big Crypto Game. So the first thing we want to see is a website. Let me back up just a second. The very first thing on the platform itself, we want to look at the Scout. Okay, and like I said, if you plug in here, you know that Metallaride is a great scout to watch and to follow and to ask questions and learn from. Great contributor in the community. Next thing we want to look at, the website. And so right away we have it's like a balanced site, meaning like right away I don't feel overwhelmed. It looks like it's custom. It looks very much like Crypto Legions, just different color scheme the way these things are mapped out here. But right away we see Surtec. I like the Win Lambo there. I like that right there. But at the top here we see trailer, roadmap, team, white paper, whitelist application, play. Like literally everything that you need. Like it's all right there. Okay, it's all right there. So Big Crypto Game is a play to earn. P2E is play to earn game made by the team of Crypto Legions with a new play forever, earn forever system. That's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. And so there's a trailer here. We're not going to watch a trailer. We have ROI calculator based on your investment size. You can do those different things there. And then we have our socials. Like I said, this is a really clean, give you everything you need to know. No fluff, no hype. But like I think it's cool graphics, but there's a balance of not trying to overdo it. I don't feel overwhelmed when I look at this site. It's really clean and clear. So let's go ahead and take a look at, just out of curiosity, I do want to look at the white paper because this has caught my attention. Play forever, earn forever. Really curious about this system here. Okay, definitely curious about that. And Rainier asks, two newbies, hey, welcome, glad you're here. Can you show us how to vote and how to add the info? So yeah, so I can go over voting here towards the end. I can definitely cover that for you. And then I'm not sure the last question, not added on the calendar. Oh, how to scout a project. Yes, I can briefly go over that as well to show you how that stuff works. Okay. Now, one of the things Metallaride does say, and this is where I'm a little unsure about this. Now, Metallaride, he's saying that he feels that this was a really good strategy to introduce the Big Crypto Game at the same time of V3 for Crypto Legions launching. The one thought that I had was I was a little unsure around that play because of splitting your forces, basically. Okay, splitting your forces, and would people be focused on just one project? Would they be inclined to be focused on two projects? Wasn't sure about that. You guys are saying that the stream is cutting out just a little bit. Hopefully it'll get better. Hopefully, bear with me. Hopefully it'll get better, guys. So that was one of the concerns I had about the project. I wasn't sure what the kind of play was. If that was a good idea to be launching and releasing this as soon as quickly after Crypto Legions V3. but they could be utilizing the hype and excitement of that. It just makes me wonder about where their focus is. But I suppose if Crypto Legions V3 is, really developed and well out, perhaps that, all their focus has already been put on that, and so now they're in a place where they can just ramp this up and do well. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the white paper. Okay, 8 unique features. Play forever, earn forever. Okay, the problem. Play to earn NFT games typically fail when their economies become unstable. This usually happens when established players hoard everlasting NFTs and start withdrawing rewards in bulk without contributing anything back. Without enough new players joining, the economy stagnates. All the rewards have been eaten up by whales, with little incentives left for everybody else. This is when game creators tend to panic and impose knee-jerk measures to catch remaining players off guard, damaging trust and making a bad situation worse. Our crypto games agency has invented a play forever, earn forever system consisting of a combination of innovative updates including our transparent economy status, smart claim system, omni-balanced oracle system, reserve pool, and reincarnation process. The combination of these features allows players to keep playing forever and to give birth to a new token whenever needed and voted by the players who are taking the decision to reincarnate based on the transparently provided data of the economy status. To fully understand the power of the system, you need to go over the features in detail in this white paper. Okay? So one of the things that I did like about this, and I'll share this here in a minute, but so I believe it was Jackie, you asked last week, Jackie, is this a typical format for all games? There's a big peak and then it just falls off, and this is what I was saying, is if the game is continuously playable and enjoyable and fun and people want to keep playing it for whatever reason it is, some people will continue to play that. But if the game it gets stale or boring or manipulated or the whales start owning too much, that can cause other problems. And so it sounds like this is the idea that they are working through this process. Transparent economy status. We made the health status of the game very transparent for everyone by providing crucial economic data on the game dashboard. Now everyone can see themselves when the economy is at risk and has necessary information at hand to be able to make responsible decisions themselves about when to cash out or reinvest. Smart claim system. Our smart claim system helps to fuel the financial ecosystem by stimulating players to reinvest, called Samaritans, and taxing the players who keep claiming as much as they can, called Funks. This innovative system extends the longevity of the game. In-game referral system. Advanced in-game referral system with 2 tiers makes it easy to refer friends and earn passive commissions. You earn commissions by referring new players to the game. It's very easy because you just need to share a link. Reincarnation as at the core. Okay, this is one of the things I wanted to bring up. Reincarnation is at the core of our play forever, earn forever system. Players can decide if they want to vote to keep playing the current game or they want the current game to end, so a reincarnation transition to the next version of the game token starts. The moment of transition to the next version of the game and the end of life of the current token is in the power of the players, compensating players with NFTs in the next game by using the reserve pool. Interesting. So one of the things I did want to bring up on this session, because I was looking at the white paper a little bit today, Metallarad and I were both on the same page with bringing up this project. So red flag checklist. And so, we're going through our own checklist, but I thought this was really interesting specifically for games. So if you're into crypto games, you definitely want to check out this white paper. You can find their white paper on their website right there at the top. But I wanted to read through these. So 10 red flag checklists. If there is a no, if you answer a no to one of these questions, that would consider this a red flag. Is the game launched at the same time as the token? Some games launch their token first, and the game a few weeks later. They do this so they do not need to invest their own money to program the game. Instead, they use the money from the private and public token sale to program the game, or even sometimes start from scratch developing a game after the token launch. They hire about a dozen developers who need to rush the programming of a new game in a very short amount of time. Can you imagine the amount of miscommunication, time pressure, and mess going on inside such a large, brand new team, and the amount of bugs, exploits resulting from it? Number 2, has a game been tested thoroughly before launch? Because some teams rush programming a game after the token launch, as explained in the first point, they do not have the time to test the game. As a result, many bugs appear while players have invested and are already playing the game. In some cases, opens up an opportunity for hackers to find exploits and run with the investment of the players. Does the team deliver the promises of the white paper and roadmap? Are the graphics, website, and white paper professional? This is one of the things I talk about a lot, continuity between platforms. Number 5, has there been any sales of NFTs before the launch of the game? Many play-to-earn games are hosting large pre-sales of their in-game NFTs before the game is even live. This means players' money is given to the development team instead of being injected into the economy, which is extremely damaging. It creates huge selling pressure from the beginning from NFT-generated rewards and takes away the majority of the early buying pressure, as people don't need to buy the token to mint NFTs. Number 6, is the game on-chain where the devs cannot block reward withdrawals? Many play-to-earn games are now being developed off-chain. This means they are hosting projects on private servers where players do not have ownership over their in-game assets. As a result, game functionality can be stopped at any moment. Players can be blocked from withdrawing their earned rewards. Important data can be destroyed, and there's zero transparency for players, as no transactions are recorded on the blockchain. Did the project go through a KYC? Does the development team communicate well with their community? Is the ownership of the reward pool managed responsibly? Are all their contracts audited and free from malicious functions? Okay, so a handful of these, we already know looking at basic projects, but I wanted to read these off because I thought this was really cool. It's cool because I feel like they're educating the community on what to look for with great projects, but at the same time, they're saying, hey, look, this is a warning, but we got this covered. This is a warning, but we got this covered. And I feel it's a really cool way to share how they're solving problems, at the same time providing massive value to other people. So, as I said, if you are in the gaming market, crypto gaming market, definitely want to grab this checklist so you can ask other projects these questions. And, I know personally, as we start looking at other games, these are some of the questions I'm going to ask because it does make sense. Having been in some crypto projects and crypto project gaming, I saw some shenanigans that did happen, and I was impacted because some of these things were not addressed. Another thing that I like about this project is the team. So Crypto Games Agency. So they're running an agency. Now I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but they have like a plug and play. So like, let's say that we wanted to decide that, we decided we want to create a game, and we wanted to create a game. We could come to this agency, determine a theme, they do the programming, we make the money. And so I'm not really sure how I feel about that as far as other teams doing that, but I like the fact that these guys are thinking from a scalable perspective, and providing that type of service. I do like that aspect of that. I don't know how I would feel about how long, how many people could actually apply for this, how many people could actually get it going. Like I said, I like the fact that the team is thinking like this. I'm more curious about the end result of a bunch of different groups making these random games. I'm curious how that would play out. Now, having said that, Crypto Legions V3. Now we got big crypto game. It's very likely that this team could definitely go down and be listed as goats. And they had successful launch and build out of Crypto Legions. They had a second successful launch for V3, and now we're going to get to see what's going to happen with the big crypto game. Now there's a whitelist application. You can get the details there, but that's about it. That for my initial thoughts on this project. Now I am curious about the Telegram. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Telegram. So we have 8,100 subscribers. Okay, so it's just an announcements channel. 8,100 subscribers, and it looks like it was just created. So just created about 12 days ago, September 17th. So there's not a whole lot of stuff going on. Likely because, as Metalluride said, a big crypto game is probably getting a lot of spillover from Crypto Legions and the success that Crypto Legions is having. So there's not really much we can look at on this project unless there is another Telegram group. Let me check real quick. Big crypto game. I think that's the same one. Let's see. The big crypto game A. The big crypto game. Yeah, I'm not sure. Might be the only one. So that's my thoughts on this one. Like I said, the things that I think are strong for it are the fact that it's a team that has developed a community. They're doing great things. They've had successful launches. The community's excited. There's a lot of excitement and hype building around Crypto Legions, which will obviously transfer over to the big crypto game. The team seems like they know what they're doing. They're also solving problems in the gaming space. The fact that they're actually a gaming company and not just a project, but like they're actually a gaming company that's going to be producing these different projects, I think is really cool. And like I said in the white paper, they're doing things really differently than a lot of the other projects are. And I think it's going to make a big difference. So just based on that stuff alone, I think it's I think it's definitely something to add to your volume of launches. Paper trade it, watch to see how it goes. But definitely worth doing some research. I believe it's launching on the 4th. Yep, pre-sale is on the 4th. There are special qualifications, things that you get to do to get whitelisted for it. But it's definitely worth taking a look at and watch. So we got King Astronaut with us. Let me check up on chat just real quick. Let's see. Hopefully the connection's better, guys. I see the warning is now off my screen, so hopefully it's working pretty good. Yeah, so people talking about Discord communication, sharing ideas and stuff like that. Absolutely. All right, so the next project we're going to take a look at. Let's see. Justin brought this up to us, and then we got some feedback from Metalluride, as well as Sleepy on this next project. Metalluride, you said people are talking about lots of chat in Crypto Legions. So it sounds like people are excited to be plugging into a second project. They don't appear to be frustrated or jaded about Project V3 launching and a new one launching. Something that they bring up. I think this is pretty cool. Let me back up 1 second. I know we're going less about crypto and more about crypto games right now, but I think this is worth considering. One of the things that was pretty cool was this reincarnation idea. Almost like just having like a basic reset. Once it gets to a spot, once it gets to a certain point, it looks like the community can vote. So I'll read this again. Reincarnation is the core of our play forever, earn forever system. Players can decide if they want to vote to keep playing the current game or they want the current game to end, so a reincarnation equals transition to the next version of the game or token starts. The moment of transition to the next version of the game and the end of life of the current token is the power of the players, compensating players with NFTs in the next game by using the reserve pool. I think that's really cool because it's I guess when things get stale or worn out, it's almost like this team is already working on things behind the scenes to kick out and pump out behind the scenes, and then it's up to the community when that transition happens. I think that's pretty cool. And similar to what we're talking about with Skylabs and Vetter, and having a DAO or community voting or foundation or committees. I get a sense of similar language where the community is in control over how this works, and the dev team is basically doing what the dev team does behind the scenes and making the product great and making it working and functional. And then when it's time to switch things up, things are already ready to go. So I did want to bring that up. I think that is something that's really cool. So instead of just the game just dying out and the developers scrambling to figure out what's next, maybe there's just this transition that people are excited about and looking forward to, and kind of like a new start. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at Project Daylight. This is brought to us by Farazi. Okay, it looks like a new scout within our community. So let's go ahead and close these windows. So let's look up the website. This is Project Daylight. Daylight Protocol. All right. So we got a basic. We have a basic website here. Revolutionizing wealth generation and distribution. Daylight was created with the intention to stabilize the DeFi 3.0 space by asserting measures in place to mitigate price manipulation, depreciating value, and combat sustainability issues faced by other protocols in the space. Daylight Protocol is a decentralized income mechanism on the BNB chain that rewards holders at a set APY of 160,000% that is sustainable and calculated with efficiency and parallel to RFV sustainability and survivability. So the first thought is guaranteed APY. So it's been a few months since I've seen a guaranteed APY project. Back in the spring, that these were popping up pretty regularly, and so from that perspective, maybe either they died off because they weren't effective, or something obviously caused the hype to shift. You see these different things happen in the crypto space. The trend with the high APY, and then all of a sudden there was a trend with like the get fit stuff, like move to earn, bike to earn, walk to earn, run to earn, and there's other things to earn, and so kind of like the health and movement space, and so like I said, this high APY has either shifted out, or the scouts that were posting those 3 months ago are no longer posting those. So kind of curious about that. Vision. Daylight is strategically building to lead a revolution in DeFi by creating the most sustainable wealth generation and distribution protocol in the space. Almost seems like they said that earlier. Maybe not. Project Daylight is pioneering fair wealth distribution and fostering the most complete ecosystem to support blockchain development, growth, and a user-centric experience. I mean, really doesn't tell me much. Okay, so this website is having a bit of a hard time to load. It could be my machine, but I think it could be the site. So we have a roadmap here. Daylight Protocol delivers a 2% daily ROI compounded every 30 minutes, a cumulative to 160% annually, 160,000% annually. That's interesting. Daylight's token will be exclusively listed on the Orion DEX, its native DEX, to maximize liquidity and sustainability for the protocol itself. Orion will also employ native liquidity pools to enable mercenary liquidity providers to earn DayL without purchasing the token. Liquidity pools are tax-free and essentially provide a discounted purchase of DayL. So pre-sale rate is 0.025. Soft cap is 0.05. Hard cap is 0.08. I'm getting confused on what they're determining the differences between the pre-sale rate and then the public sale rate, because down here they have the listing rate as 1 cent. Someone else help me if you understand. Like, when I saw this, I was just thinking public sale meant maybe this is private sale. Maybe this is private sale 0.025. And this is pre-sale, public pre-sale, 0.05, 0.08. I don't know. But then launch is 0.1. The way they have it listed, I'm a little confused. If someone else understands that, please chime in. Auto compound. Through an auto rebase system and fixed compound interest automatic staking protocol, holders get rewards directly in their wallets at a set of, yeah, we already heard, 160,000%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was confused about, man. That's easy money for, again, I can't tell if this is supposed to be private sale. I see 3 numbers, but like, I don't understand the difference between these two cells here. We have a pre-sale at 0.025. We have a public sale. Like, if this said private sale and this said pre-sale, it would make sense to me. And then launch price is 0.1, but I don't know. Buy tax 15, sell tax 20%. 20% sell tax. Meaning, when you blast off, you gotta have enough room to keep growing. It's gotta be substantial to clear the 20% at launch. Oh, I'm with you. Whitelist. Thank you, Sleepy. I was having a hard time putting that together. There were some missing words or numbers there for me. Okay, so one of the things that I learned from my own volume of launches back in the spring with these high APY projects, someone asked me one time, they said, Ryan, is it sustainable? Well, does it need to be sustainable? Does your own strategy need it to be sustainable? Meaning, if you want to get 160,000% return over the course of a year, yeah, you would need that to be sustainable. If you're looking to get a 2x or a 3x, perhaps you may not need it to be sustainable. So it comes down to your personal goals. Okay. Now, having said that, of a handful of projects that I participated in and looked at and documented, majority of them would go up. Let me draw this out. And obviously, timing is a thing. Okay, so just because where we're at now does not mean that that's how it's going to be. But here's launch. Okay, let me do green. Let me do green. Here's launch right here. Price is going up. Okay, once price hit anybody remember what these numbers were? 40 to 60%. Once price hit that zone, price tanked. Some to never recover at all. Okay? This happened time and time again. So in the springtime, if your target was 100%, okay, meaning a 2x, and 90% of the time, I mean, maybe one or two projects hit that, but the majority of the time, projects turned around at 40 to 60%, and most of them didn't recover. If you know this data, what is this telling you now? Okay? What is this telling you? If, again, we're in a different time frame. We're in the fall. We're in the fall of a quote-unquote bear market. In the spring, it wasn't necessarily considered a full-on bear, I don't think yet. And this was the talk of the town. But these were the stats. Majority of the time, project would reverse in between the 40 and 60% range, often never to come back up and create a new high. Okay? If you're targeting a 2x, which is 100% return, 100% gain, okay? Is that going to work out for you? I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about, in the spring. If the majority of projects do this, and your money management is planning for this, is it likely that it's going to reach that? Just put a yes or no in the chat. We could always say, I mean, I'm obviously from a tribe of like possibility, 100% possibility, 100% of the time. That's how I, view life. Anything is possible. Absolutely. Anything's possible. But I also like to look at numbers and data and stats. And for me personally, it was very unlikely that this was going to happen. And I think it happened like maybe once or twice of the projects that I got in. All the other times it did this and turned around. Okay? Now, this is the crypto space. Anything can happen. It's absolutely crazy. Okay? The market's crazy. It could go up and do something phenomenal. I mean, a few months back, there was a project that we were looking at, talking about on one of these calls, and I ended up getting to say, guys, I don't know, I think it's a little risky. A lot of utility projects aren't doing well right now. People aren't excited. This project also had vesting, meaning that of all your tokens, you only got 25% of your tokens at launch. Wouldn't you know, at launch, the project did over a 4x, meaning you could have sold all 25% of your tokens, got your initial money back, and left 75% to ride. Oh man, this is the crypto space, y'all. It is the wild, wild west, and anything can happen. Anything can happen. Okay? And so again, this is all about us stacking probabilities in our favor. Okay? What's the probability that's likely to happen? What's the probability that's likely not to happen? That's all we're doing. Okay? We have no idea what's going to happen. Okay? But you just get to assume the risk. And that's all we're doing. The probability that we're stacking allows us to assume a certain level of risk. Some of us want to assume more risk than others. Okay? That's all we're doing. Okay? So, take this a step further. I'm not saying that this project's going to do a 60% or 40% gain. It could do a 10x for all I know. Okay? But what I will say is, with a 20% tax, it's already cutting into some of your profits. Okay? So that high of a tax on a project that's not sustainable long term, on a project that historically these types of projects die out and fade out, is that risky to you or is that comfortable to you? Is that not a big deal? You're willing to take the risk? By all means, hey, go for it. Not saying right, wrong, indifferent. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, Metallaride says pass on the project. Tomorrow there will be a better one. Margin potential is too close for comfort to play with, especially with the high sell tax. So that's the kind of those are the kind of thoughts that we want to create, kind of dialogue, things to think about. Okay, things to think about. Okay. It just looks incredibly risky. Now, here's a beautiful part about this. Here's a beautiful part about the crypto space. This thing can launch and do a 10x, and it is what it is. But we don't make decisions based on hindsight. We make decisions based on proper planning, looking at the data, and stacking probabilities, and looking at our own risk tolerance, and making a decision in the beginning. That's it. If we knew what it was going to do, we'd all be billionaires. Okay, this is part of the game. Part of the game. Now, if for whatever reason you start noticing these high APY rebase type tokens are doing well, which traditionally they don't do well, historically they don't do all that great, there may be one or two that are the kings and they just may got to the marketplace before other people, truthfully. The ones that have come out after it have just absolutely struggled. Okay? Having said that, if you start seeing a pattern emerge where these high APY tokens are coming back and they're actually consistently doing 2x's, 3x's, 5x's, that's something you would obviously paper trade. And now you may realize it may not be as risky because the data supports it. Okay? I just want to share what Metallaride had said. He said, I quickly looked at this project after you posted it here. It'd be an interesting one to look at. The taxes are quite high, in my opinion, for the market like this. I think the taxes may swallow up any profits you can make if it only does a 0.5 to 2x if you're not quick. So be mindful of the 20% tax if you're going to participate. The tokenomics are bizarre on the pink cell page. Also states, ever increasing price. Can price never fall? Or price can never fall. Not sure how that actually works. Is it a honeypot? Also, it says they are docs, but it looks like they're just docs to pink cell. It's worthless. Okay. Are they planning to docs to the community where it really matters? So yeah, it could be a great project to dive into a little deeper. Sleepy shared. Personal opinion. Everything else aside, and the difference in price between whitelist pre-sale, public pre-sale, and launch for this is way too high. They're essentially giving people in whitelist pre-sale an instant 4x on launch with no vesting. Might be interesting to hear what we talk about on the call today, but it's a personal red flag for him. Also never had any good experience with positive rebase auto staking tokens with high APY. Okay, so that's the take from Sleepy and Metallaride. Just real quick, let's just go ahead and check out the Telegram group just to see what we got, and we'll take a look at the pink cell just real quick. So right now we have 803 members. We got 6 people in video chat right now. It doesn't necessarily look like, okay, that guy's talking now. Okay, I started to say it doesn't look like anybody's chatting it up. Alright, I am not a bot. Alright. So 804 members. Let's see how many pinned messages we have. 47 pinned messages. They are running a Discord as well. I thought, yep, right there. I think the big crypto game was doing the same thing. Let's go ahead and just we'll complete the process like we always do. We'll just fly through this. So August 13th looks like when the first pinned message was, and so let's scroll up so we can find how old the group potentially is. I saw some hellos there. Yep, hello. Let's see. August, July, July 25th, July 20th is the first message that we can find. Now, to be honest, I'm actually kind of surprised that this group is that old. I think actually, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but is it Titano? I think that may be one of the first high APY auto staking platforms that was out, and they had I think they had a pretty solid run, I believe. We would get to look. So it looks like this project, the group legitimately started in July. Like I said, that's actually kind of surprising. That it's been up for close to 60 days. That is actually kind of surprising. I would have kind of expected it to be much shorter. Okay, so it's not overrun by bots, so that's also encouraging. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pink cell. I saw a pink cell link in here. Oh, before we take a pink cell, let's look at they had AMA with the Future Lounge. So they're doing some AMAs. Oh, they actually had the recording as well. Like, hey, kudos to you guys. Dapper Dawn. So they have some influencers doing some stuff. Make DeFi better. Daylight is pleased to announce we'll be joining the MDB, Make DeFi Better Alliance by utilizing MDB Plus in a liquidity pool. Interesting. I've never heard. Has anybody heard of MDB? I haven't heard of them. All right, here's the pink cell. Let's see if there's more AMAs before we hop over to pink cell. A handful of YouTube videos are coming out. Okay, so they're doing the stuff. They got the influencers. They're doing AMAs. They're getting some exposure. Another AMA. DeFi Club. Hey, I like. Like I said, truthfully, it's a little surprising that the group is as established as it is. Now, what is a little strange is now I'm seeing all these groups and influencer videos, but the fact that they only have 800 members, number seems a little bit low considering the money that they're spending or the work that they're doing to get on these groups and stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at Pink Cell. Yeah, exactly, Sleepy. The first ones who got like that before the market, before it was the popular thing to do, they actually got people plugged in and got some momentum going before the bandwagon. Okay. Project Daylight pre-sale. Okay, it looks like they're raising 180,000 BUSD. We have audit, KYC. Audit is from Contract Checker. Curious about this video. Let's go ahead and watch it on YouTube. And really, I don't know if this has actually any bearing at all. It's just kind of fun for me. I like looking to see how much traffic the videos get. Okay, so this video has 218 views and it was uploaded on September 23rd. Project has 15 subscribers. Another video that they have was uploaded 2 months ago, 139 views. Okay. Yeah, Adalbert. Yeah, is there something to that? So it sounds like Adalbert may be experienced with MDB and a lot of the partnerships they're having. He's saying he's confused that they did a partnership with a rebase token, and so does that, because of who MDB is, does that yield any credibility to this project? If MDB is looking at a certain project, does that yield instant credibility to that project? Like, for example, with Skylabs, as a community is voting on what type of projects are going to launch, and there's clear instructions and clear guidelines on what we're looking for with those projects. We would know that, hey, if a project is showing up there, ideally, I mean, anything can happen, but ideally, a lot of work's been done to make sure this is a legit project. Adalbert, are you feeling the same way is that what MDB is doing with the partnerships they're creating? Yeah, Metallarad says, don't give any credit to the trending. Right now they're number 9. It is what it is. There's a lot of interesting things that goes on with Pink Cell. So like, it's one of those things where, like, kind of like KYC. I mean, hey, doesn't really do much. Doesn't really do much for you. Last thing we could look at real quick, doxed. Yeah, some good questions coming from this person. Zamidi. They're asking about doxed. Is it true that 4x from pre-sale to launch? They said yes. A very small pool for early adopters. Was it I didn't even notice. Oh yeah, whitelist right there. I see. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Metallaride said scroll down, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that. That kind of threw me off there. Okay. Adalbert says, MDB, they seem really professional about everything they do. Brought a lot of great partnerships. At the same time, some of them are probably less meaningful. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, so this is again one of the perks and cool things about this community and crowdsourcing. Okay, so Justin brings up the project in our Telegram group. We're looking into the project, Project Daylight. As we're looking into Project Daylight, we see communications about MBD, and then now Adalbert in our community is talking about he has some experience with MBD, and or at least has some knowledge, or MDB rather, and so now that could be a potential resource for us. So one of the things that I think I try to talk about, but I don't know if it gets well received. All of our scouts are really different for a variety of reasons. Okay, all of our scouts are different for a variety of reasons. Number one, it could be the way they see things in their personal experience. So Metallaride, for example, when he looks at a game, there's certain things that he may be looking at than I would look at, or that Sleepy may look at, and which could be something totally different than what someone else may look at, and there's value in that. And another thing about this, though, is the source where the scout finds the project. Meaning, that source could be really valuable. The source could be doing some of the heavy lifting in the beginning phases. So that's something that's incredibly valuable. So, we've talked about this before. With Gordon Gekko, for example, we looked at a project of his that just looked like garbage. It was a project called Supercats, and it did not check our boxes. Okay, I did say this is really out of character for Gordon Gekko to post this type of project, and I didn't give it enough credit that Gordon Gekko posted that project. His own reputation, his own style, his own track record can sometimes override negative things you see about the project. Now, for this particular project, it's too early. It's too early for us to have an opinion on Farazi. Okay, this comes after a what? VOL, volume of launches you develop KSP, knowledge system performance. Okay, and so I say all that to say, MDB could be a pretty cool resource to look into and see kind of what they have going on over there, and seeing what kind of projects are coming through, what kind of relationships are being built over there. Something that could be really, really helpful. So with that, does anybody else have any questions as it relates to Daylight Protocol? I was going to take a few minutes to just do a quick example of how do you vote for a project, and even how you can add a project to the platform. Yeah, I mean, Supercats will go down as such a great lesson, because basically what I don't know about anybody else. I mean, I guess technically as a group, we all opted to not look at Supercats anymore because it was just so weird looking. In doing so, we totally discredited Gordon Gekko's reputation and skill set and style and networking ability. And it was a really big lesson for me. Now, it doesn't mean that because you follow a certain scout that every project they post is going to do well. That's not what that means. Okay? It's not what that means. But the thing that I learned from it, and I already knew this from a intellectual perspective, I knew it in my brain, that the scout source can be more valuable than my subjectivity. Okay? And the Supercats was a prime example of that. It just looked like a random meme project with a crappy website and ended up doing 7x, 8x or something. And right then and there, I've said it before, sometimes our own personal subjectivity can get in the way of the scout's insider knowledge. And that was a perfect example of that. That was perfect. It was perfect. I will probably always talk about that lesson. I'll always talk about that. That's just a prime example of how that works. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the platform here. Now, Sheep Code is asking a question: can you look at projects that are only scouted by purple or higher? Yes, you can. I will say that the color of the scout does not always indicate the potential profitability of the projects or the skill set of the scout. Okay? And so, yes, if what you're looking for is the most information you can have, okay, if you're looking to get the most information, what I would say that what is, so one option is looking at color rank, but there are some limitations to that. A better option is asking the community in Telegram what they're looking at. Another option is, so over here on the filtering, up here at the top, you can click right here, and you can click Vetted Only. Now this is going to show you projects that have been scouted and vetted. And the reason that this is good is because it has a potential to be showing you projects where 2 people looked at it. So this project right here, VMate. Lorraine 100X looked at it and Brink looked at it. Okay, so additional eyeballs are on the project. Here's another example. We looked at this one last session. Out to No Mamu and AC 43100X. 2 people looked at it. Let's see this one. We got Crypto Enthusiast and we got Metalluride. Okay. And so that's a way that you can get additional eyeballs on it. Okay. Now you can also, let me click this off, and to answer your question, yes, you can. Right here, you can click Purple Only, and it's only going to show you projects from Purple Scouts. Okay. I will say historically that Beige Scouts have outperformed Purple Scouts. There's a handful of things that play into that. But I will just say that not just like not all Scouts are created equal, and just like not all meme coins are created equal. For example, if I posted a meme project or Radical posted a meme project, you want to go with Radical, not me. Radical is the king of memes, okay? I am not. So if Radical is purple and I'm purple and we both post a meme project, if all we want to do is stack probabilities in our favor, Radical is king of the memes, and that is a much better probability going with Radical than myself. Now, if I ever got to the place where I have scouted as many meme projects as Radical and still maintain my purple rank, at that point, we could be equal. Okay? Same thing if you were to see like a project called Turtle Inu on the calendar. And just because, you see a lot of Inus doing well, it comes down to the scout that found it. Less to do with the project, in my opinion, and more to do with the skill sets or the metrics that the scout is using to find that project. Okay? So I hope that answered your question. So yes, you can sift and sort through purple projects. And if you may be wondering, well, how come I just don't come to the calendar and look for purple anyway? Well, because I like to go to the Telegram group and get, who else is already looking at something. There's already another set of eyes on it. Okay? This is all about leveraging our time and energy and ultimately money. So if I know that Metalluride's already looking at XYZ project, that means he's already spent a little bit of time looking at it. If I know that Sleepy or Justin or Jackie have looked at another project already, that automatically saves a little bit of time, energy, and money, because not money in this instance, but time and energy. And so they already have some things that they've found that we can use as talking points. Okay? So there's a lot of different ways to do that. Like I said, you can sift through the purple only is one way. You can sift through going up here, clicking vetted only. Now you have 2 sets of eyes looking at the projects. 2 sets of eyes looking at the projects. And then the next thing you could do is ask in Telegram. Hey, what are other people looking at? When you see in Telegram that there's a discussion around, a project, I think Sleepy posted one right before we hopped on. I think I saw it. I don't know. Yeah, right here. Cyber. So now, Sleepy's had a little bit of look at it. So that would be an opportunity to start looking at that. So when people are talking about projects, use that as a cue of where to put your eyes as well, if that makes sense. If that makes sense what I'm saying, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Okay, so Rainier had earlier asked about voting for projects. So once a project has launched, you're able to vote for the project. Adalbert, right now the best place is in the Vetter Telegram group. That would be the best place to talk about specific projects right now. Okay, so we'll use Crypto Legions because that's the talk of the week. Okay, so once a project has been launched, it'll show up here. You can sift and sort has launched. Okay, and when you click on it, you can scroll down. Okay, and so the way this works is, and if you're brand new to voting, here is what my suggestion would be. If you're brand new to voting, is wait for a project to be audited. Okay, you'll see this little check box here. What's that? Clipboard here, and the star, profitable over 24 hours. This shows the gain for that period, 8.3x for the val and a 9x overall for the day. And then if you wanted to vote on this, this would be considered profitable in the 24-hour time frame. Okay? And so again, if you're brand new to voting, just wait for this indication, and this will tell you which way that it goes. Okay? And so you would just scroll up here, and you would click vote. You would click it's profitable for the day. And then if you happen to have gotten in that project, or if you got a gain, you could tip right here. You could tip Metal Ride 1,000 Vetter, and you say you got a gain of a 3x. You could even put a little note in here and said, hey man, thanks for scouting this project. I did really good, or this was my first project. Thanks so much. And then you click vote, and it charges a small amount of gas for the transaction, and then you actually get paid Vetter, and then your vote shows up down here at the bottom. Okay, so like Richard Williams right here. Okay, so 6 hours ago, Richard did that same process, and he voted profitable for this. Okay, this user right here, profitable, and tipped 30,000 Vetter for that 8x gain. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Hey, congratulations, Metallarad, on that tip. That's massive, massive. Okay, so that's how the voting works. Okay, and then if we want to add a new project to the platform, we would click this button right here. It says Add Project. And right here we would indicate whether we want it to be ranked or not. Yes, ranked. Project name. Vetter Live. VetterLive.com. Telegram, I don't know the right symbols for Telegram, whatever. But so this is how you scout a project. You start entering the basic information here. Okay. Now, if you run across a project that the website has already been used, let's see here. Okay, right here. So you see this warning coming up here? It's in red. Okay? So right now, it's saying that there's already a project with this website. Okay? There's already a project with this website. You can click open in a new tab, and you can see that this project was already added to the platform. Okay? This is for Skylabs. Okay? And the next thing, let me go back here. Okay, so it would tell you that that's already, it gets to be unique. Okay, so vetterlive.com is available, and the same thing will happen with the Telegram link. Okay, same thing will happen with the Telegram link. So you want to make sure that you're not posting duplicate projects, and instead of trying to force it, that's considered gaming the system. So it's much better to ask and say, hey, I'm trying to add a project. So in Telegram, asking, hey, I'm trying to add a project to the calendar, but saying it's coming up, and one of the mods can get in touch with the audit team, and we can work through that on how that works. Okay. But you would just then basically fill out the information. So if they have a Telegram, put the Telegram, put the Discord, put the Twitter, what network it's on, what launchpad it's going to be launching from, what category. Category would be like the type of project it is. If it's a gaming project, we're going to click gaming. Is it a fair launch? Is it IDO? Is it a pre-sale? Okay, it's going to be pre-sale. Let's say it's going to be on pink sale. Okay. And now you just add in, where you found it. On YouTube. You can skip this for now. I mean, right here you could put like what we did for Project Daylight. You could put like those details, the fact that the whitelist pre-sale is getting it for a certain amount that's different than the public, that's getting it different from launch. That's worth knowing. That's worth knowing. It's also worth noting in the red flags because that could indicate that some people are ready to sell at launch, and that could be helpful. Right here, you just add what what day you think the pre-sale is going to be based on the information that you have, and then the day that the launch is going to be based on the information that you have. You put your time frame, and it's all based on your time frame. Okay, and so whenever a user uses it, it'll show up based on what am I trying to say? It'll show up based on their own personal time frame. Okay. So let's say it's going to be 8 o'clock p.m. There we go. Okay, put in the soft cap and hard cap, 100, 200. And then you can put in the comments. This could be like a little description about what the project is about. It could be a description from, could be just a little excerpt from the website or excerpt from Pink Cell. But you also want to have your thoughts in here. Okay, so I think it's helpful to have your thoughts, maybe even what stood out to you. Okay, so on the positives, what was it that stood out to you about the project? What did you like about the project? Okay, what were the concerns? What were the red flags that you had? Okay, and then other notes about the project. Maybe you listened to an AMA and this is why you like the project, this is how you found it, or whatever. Okay, and then you just want to click post project. And again, there's going to be a small transaction for the gas. It's going to post your project. You're going to get paid the amount based on the rank that you're at. And then it's going to go into an approval process. And then once the project is approved, it'll show up on the calendar. And so that is how you work through adding a project to the calendar. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. Please let me know if you have any other questions about that. But guys, we covered it. We covered a lot of stuff today. We just now covered how to add a project to the platform. We covered how to vote once a project has been launched, and how to wait for, like I said, how to wait for an audit to come through. That way, you're voting in the right way. So that's super helpful, just to wait for this to show up on a project and then you can vote. We also covered how to find projects. Okay, you can find projects based on you sifting and sorting through the calendar. You can find projects based on rank. Okay, not all purples are created equal. Not all beiges are created equal. Okay, you can also sift and sort based on more eyes on it. So now if you click vetted only, it allows you to see projects that have someone who's vetted it as well as scouted it. Sometimes there's additional feedback and ideas for that. On top of that stuff, we covered a project called Daylight Protocol that Justin shared, and also we got some insights from Metallaride and Sleepy. And also we looked at a project called Big Crypto Game, and which is from the creators who did Crypto Legions, which they're doing some good stuff in the space. So jam-packed call today, a lot of good information. So I hope that this was all helpful for you guys, and you're able to take away something that's either learn something new, learn a new skill, got a new resource. Like I said, that white paper for Big Crypto Game, really, really cool checklist to go ahead and grab that as you're looking at games, and that will really support you in, again, stacking probabilities in your favor. That was a really, really good resource. And also we found from, I think it was Adalbert, we found the MDB potential resource. So man, this was a jam-packed call. So hope you guys, like I said, got something great out of this call today. I know that I got some good stuff today. So with that, hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the community. And it's pretty awesome. What we're able to create, the things that we're working on together to create, and every day is a new chapter, and a new beginning, and I'm just really excited about where we're headed. So with that, one thing Sleepy said: anyone looking at a project, always check whether the dev is in-house or contracted out. One project I was in closed down today due to hiring a random dev online. Absolutely. That's one of the things that we sometimes talk about, and we sometimes look up. We didn't talk about that at all today, but absolutely, that's one of the things that makes our project so great, is the fact that we have our in-house dev team, and we're not dependent on any shenanigans, but like they're actually part of the process. So it makes it incredibly, incredibly valuable. So with that, hey, thank you, Sleepy. Appreciate that, brother. So with that, life can be short. So for those that you care and love, let them know you care and love them. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this session. It made an awesome call today. Thank you for being a part of the community and for being here. And I will